Thank you for staying with us. We're discussing the public health crisis happening in Ogijo community. Nima, please. Let's hear your thoughts.
I agree with Tokwe and my BC on this. So when I saw the email, I had checked on safer ways to recycle because Ogijo exposed the unregulated recycling market in Nigeria. That's what is done, and there are many. Those who are melting plastic somewhere, doing all sorts of things, are everywhere, unregulated, just doing business as usual, while destroying the environment and people's health. So there are better ways apart from banning it completely, which I would have just gone for because of my style. But then I checked up safer ways of recycling. So government must enforce and ensure that they will be using enclosed smelting furnaces, air scrubbers and filters, sealed production floors, dust-free handling systems, continuous air quality monitoring, and proper hazardous waste disposal. Those are lacking. Even in our markets within Lagos, we see these things happening in certain areas. Also, there are modern ways of doing it. Alternatives are hydrometallurgical recycling. They use chemical leaching instead of burning for far less pollution. Automated closed-loop recycling, they are used in Asia and Europe, and almost zero environmental exposure. These are the two alternatives that are much more modern that can be invited. But because, of course, most of these recyclers are not licensed, is why we have what is happening in Ogijo. So you just set up a factory with pan. What is pan in English? No, that's
roofing sheet.
Roofing sheet, as the wall. And you go on your daily business. You can go on for that business for a full year. When Ministry of Environment from any state comes, they collect their money
and go.
Okay.
And go. They
Let
do
us
not
now ask the
CSR.
Ministry of
Right
Environment.
in front of my house in Lagos is a company with daily pollution, is a wood company, and the fumes from their spraying comes out unregulated. I see the boss from Ministry of Environment and the local government, wherever they come from, come to that company and go. So we're just shouting, and it's very painful that we risk our people's health. Tokwe read the conditions that can come, and you had also mentioned it. One of them is that people develop neurological conditions. When somebody gets to that point, they see spirits, they see all sorts of things. We want our people to have failed kidneys, failed livers, failed brain function. I don't understand how government is done. That's not business. That's destructive. And you know the painful part, when they take this lead, they export it. So why don't the federal government do a ban of that export till they clean up that sector and only fully correct people upstairs will do the business, where they import and bring in the industry, the industrial protection one I just read out, and invest it. Government will come, cite it before they allow it, if we must, because we would then be, left with expired or used batteries we don't know how to dispose of. So it is a good business, but it has to be done only with the right investors, not just everybody who can melt it, get it anyhow, and export it.
So I hear you, and I think BC as well said that this should be shut down completely because it's a hazard, to our health. But if you watched also the particular documentary, it showed someone saying that this is my source of livelihood. So there's that dilemma in Nigeria where it comes to health, safety, or the fact that people are earning money. What would they
know that our right to life is qualified under the Constitution. That your livelihood, if it costs another life, it's a crime.
So obviously there's a lack of education that we have when we're doing things like that. Recycling. Environmental conversation is something that has just, I think is quite new in Nigeria. We say this a lot about Nigeria. We say it's a largely informal economy, right? And these are the disadvantages of having a largely informal economy, meaning anyone can just set up these stalls and just start burning lead or whatever it is without proper regulation, proper licensing, proper monitoring. And the impact of whatever they're doing, even though it's felt, nobody really even knows who to hold accountable for things like that. But we're going to be joined by the Commissioner of Environment, Ogun State, Honorable Oresanya. And he would explain to us better, what is happening, what Ogun State is doing concerning this recycling or lead recycling and the impact that it's having on the, indigents of the Ogijo community. Okay, before he joins us, let's continue with, what we think that the government can do immediately. Now, what are the first steps that it can do?
So there's something that I've always felt we have not taken advantage of, which is the research institutes that we have. We have research institutes, we have universities, and our universities have departments of science.
Guest is here. What are people doing?
So
Say anything.
with our universities, the lecturers, they are PhD holders, they bring out research papers.
Please hold on. I think our guest is here. Honorable Ola Oresanya. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Thank you for joining us this morning. I'm sure you've heard our earlier conversation concerning what's happening in Ogijo. I would like to hear from you, first thoughts, what is happening and what is the Ogun State government doing about it?
Well, thank you. I've been following your narratives about the whole incident, and I think my duty here, just like you asked now, is to shed more light for better understanding about where we are. Why Ogijo, for example? Yes, just like you've narrated there, Ogijo happens to be the only headquarters of recycling in Nigeria. There's hardly anything you don't recycle in Ogijo. Batteries, metal, plastic, tires, most of these industries, you have the cluster there in Ogijo. Now, is Ogijo an industrial town? No, Ogijo is not an industrial town. Ogijo is accidental. All right, it's accidental. And these are years back of the accident. You can trace Ogijo industrialization back to the relocation of industries from Ilupeju during the Alhaji Jakonde regime in the early 80s when Ilupeju was becoming congested with industries and pollution was heavy. Lagos had moved industries to Odonguyon, and Odonguyon exists in Ikorodu. But at the time the government of Jakonde left, Odonguyon was not fully developed. So many of these industries, because they could not access the land they were given there, Ogijo is contiguous to Odonguyon. So that what led to people now going to Odonguyon to buy land themselves, and most of these industries were located on the road. They needed access to their industries. So that's where we are. Most of these industries, many of them are over 30 years doing their thing in that area. Now, why all this pollution there? Yes, many people...
Sorry, Commissioner. Sorry, sir.
Yeah.
Please, let me interrupt you for just a little bit. I have a quick announcement to make. We'll be cutting off to join the commemoration of the World AIDS Day happening right now at the Banquet Hall, State House, Abuja. Viewers can continue watching your view by scanning the QR code on the screen right now. Honorable Commissioner, are you still there?
I'm here with
Sorry
you.
about that. Please, go ahead.
Yes, so many of these industries they were located in that area on their own. It was not organized. So while the industries are there, then we started having houses, industrial workers started buying lands, and so we now have a mixed settlement there. We don't have houses built contiguous to industries without a layout. Without layout plan. So you can trace this back to the problem of several years, which we have to mitigate now. Now, talk about pollution. There are a lot of pollution going on, air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution in Ogijo because of the outfall of all this production. All these industries, all of them were licensed by the national government, not Ogun State. Ogun State will not give you AIA to establish your industry. The federal government gives approval for industry to be established, while the state government is expected to regulate, all right, to regulate over time. Ogun State, yes, regulations. We've identified some of this pollution. The present story about lead contamination. We identified soil contamination. We carried out a test on our own, doing our regulatory responsibility. That was about when we came into government 6 years ago, Ogijo was a city of concern because of the kind of settlement that we have there, mixed settlement industries. Can I go ahead? Are you there?
Yes,
please.
sir. We can hear you.
sir.
Because of the kind of mixed settlement you have around the community there. So we carried out our own investigation with the academia. A lot of students did their research. We did a soil analysis, air sampling, and we found out that the particulate in air particulates in Ogijo is higher than the normal one.
Okay.
So the industries that are causing this, a lot of metal industries, were given ultimatum. We shut many of the industries. Go and trace the history of shutdowns in Ogijo. You will shut down the industries, give them a chance, and they will now write a new commitment to conform with a new procedure to install pollution abatement devices. Most times, yes, if they must show the sign that they're already doing it. And for metal industry, for example, the ultimatum, the moratorium will lapse by March next year. If you have not installed the pollution abatement notice, they'll be shut down perpetually for metal industry.
But in the meantime, there are lives that are being affected.
I would
Sir,
like to ask.
in the sorry,
No, it's reducing. We are looking at it. Many of them are already installing the abatement device.
Okay,
Many of them are already installing.
Okay, we have a few more questions for you, sir.
Yes, Honorable, I wanted to ask, was there any point where residents in the area complained and probably made a report to your office about the sort of fumes they were seeing and how it was affecting them? Was there any form of reports from residents? One?
No.
There was no form of reports. Then secondly, in the immediate right now, what sort of compensation would you be giving to the residents of that area? Seeing the report largely, you see that many of them are already being affected by lead poisoning. We have individuals that are already affected by lead poisoning. So what immediate action would you take to either compensate them, whether it's healthcare service? What is the government planning to do for those residents while you're still looking towards, either closing down the companies and waiting till they get all the requirements before they open?
Thank you very much. Let me go back to the first question. Has there been any time where they are removed by the resident? No. This is where it makes it so difficult for government. Many of the residents are factory workers. So have you ever seen a time where you find people carrying placard in Ogijo to say, government come and save us from pollution? It has never happened. Because there's what?
Lack of education.
You said what?
No, go ahead, sir.
Hello?
We can hear you, sir. Please go ahead.
Yes, because no, even when we now have to call them for meeting to say, look, these industries are injurious to your health, we are going to shut them down. It is the residents that will come and plead and say, sir, if you shut this industry, where are we going to go? That the entire town depend on these industries. So that's a social issue, and I'm sure, and I'm glad one of you mentioned it there. That is what happens to all these people. So we now, when you look at the principle of sustainable development, the social element comes in also. Apart from the economic benefit from all these people, environmental issues is where we are concerned, and that we use these environmental issues and health issues so that, look, you cannot continue this way. So it's a two-edged sword. We just have to balance it, and we've been able to tolerate these people. For the lead one, we had the result. We had the investigation. There was soil contamination, and we gave this lead people, producers, on moratorium that lapsed in June this year. June. That is, if you don't install your pollution, what is the pollution abatement notice, abatement device we're talking about? It is the automation of battery braking process. Automation of battery braking process. If you're exposing your factory workers to contamination with the process, automate. Everybody signed to finish the automation by June this year. We called them for a meeting that, look, the next thing we're going to do the auditing, process audit, and what will happen is the SLAM. Now, the report came in because we were so transparent about the process. We involved the Premium Times and several other foreigners involved with the process. Now, what happened is that, why this alarm now is that before, we are still doing validation of reports. There's supposed to be a community meeting and everybody congregate to validate these reports. Then, before we now do our final clamp down. But the reporters went on, yeah, fine.
Okay.
No problem.
Sorry, Honorable.
They are talking about what they find out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Honorable Commissioner. Let's go on a short break. When we come back, we would like to continue this conversation with you.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thank you for staying with us. We still have with us the Honorable Commissioner for Environment, Ogun State, Honorable Oresanya, talking to us about the Ogijo crisis, the public health crisis going on right now. Honorable Oresanya, are you with us?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay.
I'm with you.
So we have another question for you.
Okay, sir. You mentioned that they have till March next year for them to install this device, I suppose, to reduce the harmful chemicals that are being released into the community.
No, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. All the metal recyclers, they're different from battery recyclers.
Okay.
There's various recyclers.
Okay.
The battery recyclers, their own ultimatum expired already in June.
Okay.
So for the battery...
The metal recyclers have up till March.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that.
Thank you.
I felt you affected all of them. So for the...
No.
The lead poisoning is from the battery recyclers.
Yes.
And
the alleged lead poisoning.
Okay.
We need to confirm that.
Okay.
We are now going to do a test. All they did was to take 70 out of over 11,000 people around Ogijo. 70 people were tested. As much as we are not denying or discrediting that report, we want to really widen the test now. Okay. We are going to test about 500 people, both factory workers, people living contiguous to the industries, and even their suppliers. We've met with them on Saturday, and they are voluntarily submitting themselves for this test, which is going to be free. And this test will be conducted not just by the state government. We're using international neutral bodies to conduct this lead test in human beings, for the human beings. Then we are going to test the soil and the air in Ogijo so that this new test will be made public. We are going to publish it.
What's the timeline for
findings?
When should we be expecting the findings, sir?
I'm having a meeting now with the experts that are going to conduct this, and they're going to give me the timelines. And I can tell you we have a situation room now that we have opened, and we'll give you every minute information about this.
You mentioned that the timeline for them had expired since June. Yeah. Between that June and now, has all the lead, all the battery recycling facilities been shut down that have not complied? Or are there still some battery facilities working in Ogijo now, even though they've not complied?
No, I want to tell you that out of the 8 companies that are here in Ogun State, we have 9 in Nigeria. Recycling, battery recyclers, and one in Anambra is not working. We have 1 in Agbara, and we have the other 7 around Ogijo and Mowe area. Just about 5 are in Ogijo, 2 are around Mowe. Now, some of them have complied. At least the one at Badagry, the one at Agbara, is 100% automated. From the time we get them the ultimatum, some of them have complied. There are various levels of compliance. So we were supposed to do what we call the process audit before we can now take informed decision about shutting them down perpetually or not.
Okay, sir.
Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
So the process has just commenced.
Okay, sir.
Can I go on?
Yeah, no, we have a question.
Yes, I have another
for you.
question. Yeah.
We have a
If
question.
you're not
Nima,
done,
please go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I wanted to ask, because you had mentioned that the licensing for these plants come from the federal government. Can Ogun State in any way, insist on a remediation, as in a cleanup, so that we do not have lead still in the soil and the plant and the dust in the air that will continuously affect people within maybe 1,000 meters of the factories in Ogijo and the plants as well? Is there a possibility of a cleanup?
Yes. Yes, it is possible. When we look at environmental management, environmental governance, as entrenched in the Constitution of Nigeria, is a concurrent issue. The federal has a responsibility, the state has a responsibility, local government has a responsibility, even the CDA has a responsibility as entrenched in the Constitution. So we have various levels of responsibility here. Now, even if the federal can give a minimum level of regulation, it bestows on the state, in view of your peculiarities, to go either higher or you maintain the federal standard if you don't have your own standard. But if you have your own standard, everybody must operate, the state standard will prevail over the federal one if you must operate in that state. And that is where we have gone in Ogun State. Our standards are quite higher. So we have a duty to make sure that if these companies are not operating within the limit which we have set, irrespective of whatever the federal has given them, we have a duty to stop them. But we must be equipped with our facts. Okay. And that is what we are extracting. We have to have our facts to justify why we are taking our decisions.
And so can you compel them
that is the process audit we are doing.
Can you compel cleanup?
Yes, we can. If we found out that these industries have caused any injury to anybody or the environment, of course, they will have to be responsible for it. They will be responsible. That's our job as regulators in the state. We have a duty to protect the life of our people. But we must establish the facts. And that's exactly what we're doing right now. That's why we are conducting a health audit to establish truly how many people are really contacted, are really having this lead poisoning, if they are. And is it within tolerable limit? Is it outside the tolerable limit? So we're going to publish those facts so that by the time we go to arbitration or whatever, these industries too, they need to come and defend themselves because we have to have our facts. And that's exactly what we're establishing right now.
Okay, Commissioner, please, could you help us understand what monitoring is usually like, even before there's a crisis, by the environmental regulators? What do you do, like on a daily basis or monthly basis, just to go around to make sure that industries are working within the standard of health and safety precautions that have been laid out?
All right. What we normally do is that before we establish any industry, Federal Ministry of Environment will conduct what we call the Environmental Impact Assessment. Okay, that's the EIA, which will be conducted by Federal Ministry of Environment, and it will be handed over to the states so that this is the potential impact coming from this industry. Now, the State Environmental Protection Agency will conduct what we call the quarterly audit for compliance with the mitigations plan that have been identified in potential risk. So you do that routine check. Now, most times you inform the industries, you are coming for a routine check. But if we have any complaint, you can do unscheduled inspection based on complaint or suspicion. Then we are also doing what we call a kind of quality assurance testing. Now we engage an independent assessor in Ogun State right now, trying to give us unscheduled assessment of these industries to benchmark against our own regulators for quality assurance to enable us to know that if they have been compromised or not. That is ongoing. We started that about 6 months ago in Ogun State. It's a QA/QC program we're doing, and it's independent of even our own consultants.
Let me quickly ask, sir, aside this that you're doing, because the industries now, you mentioned that you are clear about you know, the numbers that are in Ogijo, Mowe, and Agbara.
Yeah.
Are there any rules not to approve of any building that is residential 500 meters away from these industries?
Definitely in Ogun State, we have several industrial clusters. And I believe we have about 8 industrial clusters in Ogun State. If you want to establish an industry, you will go to industrial cluster, not in residential area, not in Ogun State. Ogijo, like I've told you, is an accidental town. That's a problem we inherited. We already have a mixed settlement there. Most of those industries that they bought the land themselves years back. They established industries and their residential areas are there. We already proposed relocating all these industries out of that, especially the metal industries. The community came pleading, begging. This community that's supposed to cry about pollution, they weren't even begging that the industry should stay.
They don't have the knowledge,
Okay.
sir.
All right, sir.
I said they don't have the
But
knowledge.
we educated them.
Okay.
That is what we have to do, and that's what we have been doing.
Thank you,
And
Commissioner.
we did that. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, for Commissioner. But just in your last few, maybe one sentence to just say to viewers who have seen this documentary and have listened to you, what's the message you would like for Nigerians and residents of Ogun State to know concerning this in a very few words, because we have to go on a break now.
Thank you very much. Well, for all Nigerians generally, I think I want to assure you that the government of Ogun State will rise up to this challenge, to the occasion, to make sure the lives of the people are protected. For my people in Ogijo, we are establishing the facts with you. We're in this together with you. You've been seeing me there. The situation room is open, and the public is welcome to see the tests we are doing. And I want to appreciate the media that is enabling us to fast track on this process. And I want to assure you that we will not shirk our responsibility to preserve life and property and uphold the social contract we signed with our people. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for joining us today and for clarifying what is happening in the community. And for our viewers, we hope you have heard, what has been said, and hopefully this will be something that is sorted as soon as possible. Let's go on a short break. When we come back, we'll move to another segment. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.